let's come onto our mats. Have available what you need for your practice. Your bolster or rolled up duvets, rolled up comforters, towels, your cushions, some blankets to sit on or cover yourself so that you can be cozy and warm. Raid your house, your living room, your bedroom. Let's come into our Sukhasana to start with. We'll take some breaths here. And then for our rest and reset yin practice today, we're going to be integrating the 5 elements theory that we've been working with over the last few weeks. And we'll be bringing together all of the elements within our practice today. Bringing your thumb and index to touch in Gyan. Palms face up or face down, yogi's choice. Beginning to close your eyes or softening your gaze. Notice the journey of your breath. Observe the breath as it travels through your nose, down into the depths of your lungs. Notice the return journey of the breath. Full breath in, full breath out. Breathing in. I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out. I know I'm breathing out. Breathing in. I connect with my body. Breathing out. I connect with the earth below my body. Breathing in. I connect with the air around my body. Breathing out. I connect with the roots of trees that pass under the earth. Breathing in. Connect with the warmth of your home. Breathing out. Connect with the rich metals deep at the core of the earth. Take a full breath in. Hold the breath momentarily. Bring your hands together in prayer at the heart. Let's open our practice by chanting Om 3 times. Inhale fully to prepare. Om. 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 Namaste and welcome. Welcome to your practice this evening. So we're going to start with body tapping. I'm going to come to our feet and we're working with all of the 5 elements in the 5 elements theory, this Taoist philosophy based in traditional Chinese medicine. So slightly differing elements compared to Indian philosophy, metal element and is not present within Indian philosophy, and the space element is not present within Chinese philosophy. So let's come to standing. Find your steady pose here. We're going to start off, I'll come a little bit closer so you can see me. So we're going to start off by some tapping along the upper body first. So fold in the right fingers, create a soft knuckle there. Let's start at the left shoulder. And let's work all the way down the inside of the left arm, working on the lung meridian here. Which is connected to the meta element, traveling all the way down the inside of the arm to the big thumb, the thumb. And then let's turn the hand and go to the index finger now, the outside of the index finger. And we're going to travel along the outside of the arm, now stimulating the large intestine, which is paired with the lung. And again, these connect to the element of metal all the way up to the top of the shoulder. Now let's switch sides, so fold in the left fingers and start on the right shoulder. So we're going to travel down the inside arm. Yin is the lung meridian. So the yin is the cooling, introspective, more feminine of the energies. The yang energy, which connects to the large intestine, is on the outside of the body, the more dynamic, active energy. So you can see that the insides of our body are much more vulnerable, the outsides are much tougher, all the way up to the shoulder. The metal element here with the lung and large intestine. So let's now move to the underneath the armpit, so back to the left side again. So this time you might want to use your fingertips, especially here under the armpit, because it might feel uncomfortable. And then when you're ready, you can switch to your folded fingers. Now we're going to work along the inside of the arm. So the lung and heart meridian run parallel along the inside of the arm. So we're now working on the heart meridian. This is the yin side. And this connects to the element of fire. Travel all the way to the little finger. And then let's turn the hand, starting again on the little finger, and we're going to travel all the way along the outside of the arm. And this is the small intestine, and it runs along parallel to the large intestine on the outside of the arm, all the way to the shoulder. Now let's swap and start again, just under where your bra strap is, parallel with your chest, armpit, traveling down the inside. So we're now working on the fire element. Again, I'm going to travel all the way down to the little finger. So this is connected, the heart meridian is connected to joy. The small intestine along the outside of the arm is connected to vitality, to the shoulder. So we've worked on now the lung and large intestine, which is the metal. We've worked on the heart and small intestine, which is the fire element. So now we're going to work on the liver. So now we're going to work on the lower body here. So we're going to start off on the big toe and work our way along the inside of the leg here. So maybe you might need to take your feet slightly apart. And this time you can probably use both hands and then travel along the top of the foot, around the ankle. So you'll notice that when we work with the yin on the upper body, we travel down. When we work with the yin aspect, we travel up on our lower body. Tapping all the way up along the inside of the leg. This is connected to the element of wood. can just come up here, the side of the abdomen, side of the chest. Now we're going to travel down the outside leg for the gallbladder. So we're going to travel down the outside of the leg here. So just start at the hips here. The gallbladder is paired with the liver. The gallbladder is the yang aspect. I'm going to go all the way down the leg and then travel to the fourth toe. So this here, the liver is connected to anger, the gallbladder to courage. And let's travel up one more time, up along the inside. And then down along the outside. Gallbladder connects to courage, ending at the fourth toe. Now we're going to work on the spleen and the stomach connected to the earth element. So now for the spleen, we're going to start at the big toe. And this time we're going to work our way up the front of the leg. All the way along the front of the leg. Zigzag here to the side chest. Let's take a moment and we're going to travel again all the way down the front of the leg here for the stomach, all the way to the second toe. And for the spleen, I'm sorry, I meant to work from the big toe along the inside of the leg. And down the front for the stomach, all the way to the second toe. So this connects to the earth element. Now finally the water element, the kidney. So we're going to start at just at the base of the foot where the arch is. So there we can just tap with your fingers here. And then let's travel along the inside of the leg again. For the kidney, I like to go around the back. And now down the back for the urinary bladder. All the way down the back. Turn and face you so that my bum to the camera. And then the urinary bladder ends with the little toe. So again, let's go to the sole of the foot. Travel along the inside of the leg for the kidney meridian. This is the yin side for contemplation. Down the back for the bladder. This connects to fear. All the way to the little toe. Now let's shake out the legs. So shake out the legs, shake out the hands. Really floppy feet, floppy hands. Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. Now we can come down to them. Actually, no, we're not going to come to the mat. We're going to go into dangling and then come to the mat. So we're going to go forward into ragdoll here. So you can have your buttocks up against the wall and then fold forward into a ragdoll. So the wall helps support you. Or you can be hanging out here. Have a soft bend or a deep bend in your knees. And then take hold of your elbows. And let's dangle here. So you're going to feel this along the back of your legs for your urinary bladder. So we're working with the water element here. You might feel it on the inside of your thighs. Connect your feet, the sole of your feet, to the earth. Allow your neck, head, and shoulders to be heavy. Contemplating the water element. Represents beginning and end. The season it connects to is winter. Have the sense that you are letting go here of fear. Of being stuck. If you feel as if your energy is churning, that the water element's not flowing freely, it's clogged up with mud, then know that this is your opportunity to filter. Visualize the flow of water. This cycle as water falls from the sky into the rivers, the sea. As water evaporates and returns to the sky, the clouds, in this ever perpetual cycle, returning to the earth as rain, snow, sleet. The power of water to effect change, to seep down deep into the earth and bubble up like a spring, a brook, a river. One more breath here in dangling. Bring your hands to the earth. And we're going to come down to the earth through a toe squat. So come up onto the balls of your feet and lower your sit bones here, supporting yourself with your hands. Now you can keep your knees up, or you can bring your knees to the earth. And depending on the angle of your upper body, if you lean forward, there will be less pressure and weight on your toes. As you lean back, it will increase the pressure on your toes here. So we're particularly stretching out the sole of the foot, activating all of the toes, the big toe, the little toe, the second and fourth toe in particular, working on all of these toes in which meridians end and start. If it begins to feel too intense, you can always place a cushion or a folded blanket underneath your knees. We won't be here for long. You can certainly feel this along the insides, the back of the legs. I invite you to bring your thumb and little finger to touch. The little finger is associated with the element of water. 3 more breaths here. And then let's lean forward, untuck our toes, and then come back to sit. And let's swing your legs round. And you might want to windshield wipe them one way, then the other to release them. We're going to move into caterpillar pose. So you can move in without support under your knees. You can have a bend in your knees, lengthen, and then hinge forward and fold forward here in caterpillar. If you have large pillows available and you wish to come into a more restorative version of this caterpillar pose, place your large pillows or bolster equivalent underneath your knees and then hinge forward. And I invite you here to take your fingers and perhaps press the middle of your foot, the sole of your foot, and the little toe. Still working here on the water element, kidney and bladder. When we flush out here, we can feel revitalized. Vital energy can flow more smoothly. We're going to be here for 1 more minute in caterpillar, supported or unsupported variation. So we're merging the 5 elements today into an integration, Wu Qing, as these elements are described, these 5 phases that flow together in a continuous cycle, moving from one element to the next, from one season to the next. The meridian, those pathways for energy, qi to flow, connecting with the organs, this integration on a physiological, biological level, as well as within the seasons. bringing harmony through this flow of chi, energy, known as prana in Indian philosophy. Releasing your hands from your feet, begin to unfurl your spine one vertebrae at a time, coming back to neutral, and then removing your bolster or pillows from underneath your knees with helping hands. Let's just bring our knees up and give them a little hug here. And then let's stretch them out and wave the feet one way, then the other. We're going to move into butterfly pose. So again, yogi's option. Now we're going to move from water into the element of wood. So bring the soles of your feet together. And again, you have the opportunity here to connect with your feet by massaging them before we fold forward. So paying attention to our big toe, second toe, third, fourth, fifth toe. Your option again, forward fold without a bolster or a prop. Or you can angle a bolster or a pillow, rest your eyebrow center on it. You can create a little bridge so you could pile up several bolsters or pillows, perhaps even place them on a low footstool. If you have blocks, you can create a bridge. Interlacing all your fingers between your toes. The element of wood is connected to the season of spring. A time for moving forward, stepping into new adventures, moving into the unknown. So just as winter gives way to spring, the element of water gives way to the element of wood. Water which nourishes and feeds the trees. A time to grow. To be adaptable to change. Three more breaths here in butterfly. Inhale, begin to raise your crown, unfurl your spine. take your legs along, your hands along your legs, and then let's draw those knees in together. If you have your props, moving them away. We're going to move, you might want to sway your knees. Always take this opportunity to windshield wiper to help transition between one season and the next, between one practice and the next, one element and the next. I'm going to move into shoelace pose. So your option is to do half shoelace or full shoelace, yogi's choice. I'm going to extend my left leg long. I'm going to take my right knee over my left. I'm going to interweave my left fingers between my left toes. This is option 1. If you are comfortable here, you can always bring your left heel near your right hip. And so you come into this variation, option 2. And again, I'm taking the opportunity to connect with the roots of my body, my feet, by interlacing my fingers through my toes. Working here on the liver and gallbladder. So the liver, as we know, travels along the inside leg, and the gallbladder travels along the outside of the leg. Spring is a time to feed your intentions, your new beginnings. Spring is a time for setting your vision. Looking forward, being adaptable to change as necessary. Now, if you wish, for the last minute, you can fold forward. A bit of a skittish dog due to fireworks. So your eyebrow center can be resting on your knees, or it can be resting on a bolster or cushions that you place over your knee. Three more breaths here in your variation of shoelace with your right knee on top of the left. On the third inhale, rise up with your crown, your heart. And then release your left leg if it's folded underneath. And then let's release the right leg here. And again, let's just windshield wiper those feet, those knees, before going the other way. So this time, let's cross the left knee over the right. So aligning those knees as much as you can. They won't be directly on top of each other. Threading your fingers of your right hand through the toes of your right foot. And again, if you wish, you can bring the right foot up by your left hip. So as we come into these shapes, poses, we're stimulating the meridian pathways, the meridians, the pathways for chi, for energy to flow. This energy is vibrational, and we absorb this energy from our environment, from the food that we eat, the breath that we take in, the light of the sun, the thoughts and emotions that we have. All of these create and feed the energy. I'm going to be here for one more minute. And so you're invited here to fold forward. You can always place a cushion or a bolster on your knees so that you rest your eyebrow center. Or you can rest your eyebrow center on your knee or allow it to hang forward here. As the energy flows freely and constantly, we can move towards optimum health and balance. By working on the gallbladder and liver, we are releasing anger and cultivating courage, sound judgment. Last 3 breaths in this pose. And then on the third inhale, rise up. Release the right leg from underneath you. And uncross the left, and here windshield wiper one way then the other. And we're going to move directly into the fire element here. So you can have your blanket on your mat. So it's providing you with some warmth and padding. I'm going to move into Sphinx pose. Coming on to, actually let's move through melting heart and then into Sphinx pose. Quite like the idea of moving into melting heart first. So we're now working with the heart and the small intestine. So your options for melting heart is you can place a bolster or large pillows underneath your heart space so that you're supported. Your hips and knees are aligned. You can come into half melting heart, so you can fold in one arm and extend the other arm, or you can extend both arms long. Yogi's choice. So your melting heart will look different depending on whether you're extending one or both arms, whether you're using props, or whether you're coming directly to the earth. So we're now working on the fire element. So as you know, the heart meridian passes through the armpit, down the inside of your arms, small intestine on the outside, and really connect your little finger with the earth here, the starting point and end point for these meridian pair, this pair of meridians, the yin and yang of this pair. And unsurprisingly, the fire element is connected to the season of summer. So spring gives way to summer, the buoyancy, the joy, the vitality of summer, when flowers blossom. This is a season in which we connect with the truth, the spirit of the heart and mind, Shen. When we recognize and respect our boundaries. So as we flourish and bloom, we are mindful to stay within our own needs, to know the boundaries within which we can feel safe in our truth, express our truth. If you have one arm extended and one arm folded, swap your arms around. I seem to have acquired a dog for my bolster. So we'll be here for another 2 minutes in melting heart. So if you feel uncomfortable, you can always ease back a little bit, fold in one arm. If you have both extended, bring in a cushion or a pillow or bolster underneath your heart space. Six more breaths here. In melting heart. And from here, we're going to transition directly into Sphinx pose. So come forward, extending both arms, bending into your elbows, come forward, slide your knees away and come onto your abdomen here. So you're in Sphinx pose here. How can I do this without disturbing my dog? So you can have your arms on the earth. If it begins to feel uncomfortable in your lower back, you can always fold a blanket and place a folded blanket underneath your hips and your pelvis so that you are slightly lifted off the earth through the middle part of your body, the heaviest part of your body. You can also place a bolster underneath your heart space and then have your elbows on the other side of the bolster. See if I can demonstrate that on this side. So that your sternum is just above the bolster. Your lower ribs are pressing against the bolster. And then this can feel quite supportive. If it feels too challenging to hold your head up, you can always have a block and rest your eyebrow center on your block. A low footstool with a folded blanket or cushion on it will serve the same purpose as a block. Or even a pile of books with heavy books with a blanket on them. So here we're opening across the heart, so keep lengthening through the sternum. The fold in our elbows, the bend in our elbows helps to stimulate the meridians that run along the arm here. And we're focusing our awareness on the heart and small intestine here. A practice that focuses on the heart and small intestine also works on the pericardium and the triple burner. And this helps to alleviate depression or low mood. It's an uplifting practice working with the season of summer, with the element of fire. One more breath here. From Sphinx, lift your tailbone. Bring the big toes to touch and sit back in child's pose, wide-legged child's pose, with the big toes connected. We're now moving into the earth element. Focusing on the spleen and the stomach. These run along the inside and the front of the legs. And press the big toe into the earth here. Feel the connection of the second toe. The earth element is about sustaining, nourishing, and grounding. So as we shift from summer into late summer, what we call the Indian summer, just before autumn. So this is the time of when fruition takes place, a nourishing season, a grounding element. Three more breaths here in wide-legged child's pose. Inhaling, begin to lift yourself up, walking your hands back towards your body. Going to move into supported bridge pose to connect with the metal element. So I invite you here to have your bolster or cushions or pillows available. It doesn't matter how many you have, so that you can place them first underneath your knees. I'm really not going to disturb my dog because of the fireworks, so I'm going to make do with the little space I have back here. So place the bolster underneath your knees before coming down to the earth. And then when you're on the earth, lift your hips and pelvis and roll your bolster so that it comes underneath your hips and pelvis, the heaviest part of you, so that your tailbone is in the middle of your bolster or cushions. So I'm hoping you can still see my head. And we'll be here in supported bridge for 3 minutes. Closing your eyes. Now working on the metal element. Associated with autumn. Season of letting go. Of refining, maintaining what you need to go forward. Just as you polish metal so that its brightness can come through this process of polishing, of cleaning, of clearing. What is required, what is necessary, maintained. And here, feeling the expansion across your lungs. feeling the space that you create for your large intestine. This is a detoxifying, cleansing season, cleansing element. One more minute here. Here we can let go of sadness, of grief, of all of the things that, emotions or thoughts that may be draining us, where it's time to let go, to keep the memories that bring you joy. Harvesting the fruits of your memory. Preparing for the long winter, the element of water again as we complete the cycle. Moving from water to wood, to fire, to earth, to metal. Then back, revisiting the cycle. Mirroring the seasons. As we come up to the end of your practice, lift your hips and pelvis and roll your bolster to underneath your pillows, underneath your knees, or move your pillows and cushions to underneath your knees. Resting in Shavasana here for at least 5 minutes in your own space. And when you are ready to rise, closing your practice by chanting Om Shanti. I will chant it softly and sweetly for you now. And then you rise when you are ready. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Dhanyavad yogis, with blessings.